lifespan of 8 years, maybe 150,000 miles. Does anybody have a car that's over 8 years? Now it's been said it can go double those numbers, but how do you do that? With proper maintenance. So it's important to be more proactive than it is reactive. Now I understand car payments are expensive. I don't have car payments anymore. My car is 10 years old and I still love my Jeep. But there are so many in the population who think, well, if I just have my car, if it breaks down every once in a while, it's okay because it's better than a car payment. And we train our minds to think that this is okay. But it's not, because with proper maintenance, that car will last and purr a long time. Let's relate that to our medical system, and specifically heart disease. We can go to the doctor when we're broken, but do we take good care of ourselves in order to prevent all of that? Because heart disease is preventable. It's 100% preventable. In fact, more people die of heart disease than AIDS and cancer combined. This year, almost 1 million people will suffer from a heart attack. 1 million. Do you know what the first sign is sometimes of a heart attack? Between 30 and 40% of those 1 million people, their first symptom. Anybody want to take a guess?
I know it.
Heart attack.
Death. Death is the first symptom.
Oh my God.
Between 30 and 40%, death is the first symptom. You don't want to mess with it. And some people think that this is an old, as you age disease. However, my friend, whom I joined Toastmasters with, who is younger than I am, he had a heart attack in his late 30s. And the only reason why he is alive, his doctor told him, is because he was swimming a lot. He used to do that as his exercise, was swimming. That's the only reason why he's alive. Late 30s. This is not an old person's disease. This all has to do with how we take care of ourselves. And proper maintenance has a lot to do with it. But I'd encourage you to be more on the proactive side than on the reactive side. When we're on the reactive side is when we have to depend on our medical system. But when on the proactive side, you can have fun with it. And that's what I want to share with you today. But before we do, I'd like to show you, this is a chart of the obesity in the US. Now the first 3 bars are relatively low. That spans a 20-year span from the 60s to the 80s. The next bar spans a 4-year between 84 and 80, 5-year between 84 and 89. Obesity doubled. The next one is a 3-year span. The gray bar is the gray bar is from a 3-year span from 99 to 2002. And the last one is from 2005 to 2008. But here's the reality. From 1970 through 2008, it has increased threefold.
Wow.
300%. What's changed? Are we genetically broken? What's changed? One of the biggest ways you can fight back heart disease is by maintaining your weight. I have a chart that talks about weight and height, and everybody doesn't like it. A few people that they don't like it. In fact, I don't like it either. Because according to this chart, I should be taller. Which I don't think is going to happen anytime soon. But there are 5 ways that you can fight back heart disease. 1 is nutrition, 2 is physical activity, 3 is weight management, 4 is stress management, and 5 is smoking. And what I'd like to do is address each one. On the nutrition side, a few years ago, my husband and I took a class. It was basically a continuing education class that was taught by medical professionals for medical professionals. And if we would have been medical professionals, we would have received this continuing education credits. But I learned so much. It was available to the public. Because this is a medically taught class, we had to take our blood work at the beginning of the class, and then at the 5-week mark, because it was a 6-week class, we took it at the beginning of the class, the 5-week mark, so we could see our results by the 6th week. During that first, I'm thinking, I'm healthy. Paul and I had pretty much already gone vegetarian by then, and there wasn't a lot of meat in our house, and we didn't really eat a lot of meat, and our physical activity was decent. When I first, no, it's 8 to 10. When I first, it's like, that was fast.
Sure.
When I got my results, one of the numbers that jumped out at me was my cholesterol, 219. I was like, that's a bit high. But you know what my habit was? I work at home, and food for me is a means to an end. It had to be fast. So I'd have an egg sandwich in the morning for breakfast, and then an egg sandwich at noon, and then I'd have whatever for dinner. It was usually pretty light. But those eggs, those are killers. In the 5 weeks I took this class and we did our blood work again, I was so strict on the diet that they were teaching us. My cholesterol dropped by 60 points.
Wow.
In 5 weeks. Our bodies are fearfully and wonderfully made. We have the ability to heal ourselves. Think about it. You get a cut, you heal. A bruise, you heal. Broken bones, you heal. We don't need a lot to heal. We just need small changes. And a lot of times, that's all we need to apply. It's not the big things that we incorporate into our lives, it's the small. On the physical activity side, walking. There's no requirements. Maybe a good fitting pair of shoes, just walking. It's been said a half an hour a day will help you maintain your weight. Anything more than that, you're on the right track. But we live in Florida. It's gorgeous outside, except for that 1 week of winter that we have. Go outside, enjoy the environment. Walk. We went to Crane's Roost last night. It was incredible. The bats were out. It was right at dusk. It was awesome. It was just so fun to see everything. And then great conversation. And if you take care of nutrition and physical activity, isn't that going to help you maintain your weight? So it's kind of a given. The 4th on the list is stress management. Stress is a killer.
Yes.
It is. How many people are stressed? There are things that happen in our lives that we have no control over. But I found some really great words of wisdom. It's on Matthew 6:27. Who of you, by worrying, can add a single hour to your life? That is true. It's not worth it. I suggest going for that walk around Crane's Roost with a friend. You'll get to moan and groan about all the things that are annoying you, right?
Of course.
You'll get a walk in and you'll release that stress. Boom, it's a double whammy. I love it. The last element to fight back heart disease is smoking. Now, if anybody here smokes, I understand that it's an addiction. Or if you know anybody who smokes, I understand it's an addiction. But this is the result of the addiction. If somebody was to quit smoking today, even after years of smoking, they can actually, their body starts to heal. And they can continue adding years to their life instead of reducing their life. As we age, some of us go kicking and screaming, but we don't have to be debilitated. And that's what happens with heart disease. You're either going to die, which really sucks, or you'll be on medication or have surgeries and have to be maintained. Now, is that proper maintenance? That's not a way that I want to live, and I can guess that that's not a way that you want to live. So here's what I want for you. Here's what I want for you. When you become a classic, I want you to look like this. Not a product of our medical system. You can fight back heart disease. Thank you.